Gennady Golovkin knocks out Steve Rolls in the 4th round. Congrats to Gennady Golovkin. What up, Fight World? It's your boy EGO, and I'm back with some more boxing. Want to give some quick thoughts. Triple G versus Steve Rolls. Fight played out just like I told you guys. I didn't really see it going into deep waters. I will say, just being fair, what I predicted was what most people predicted, and it was 100% accurate. Just the experience factor. Didn't look like he had this mesmerizing power, and he's going up with an experienced silver medalist in Golovkin. I will give Steve Rolls his props in terms of he didn't put up a Dominic Wade type of performance, who was Golovkin's mandatory back then. And he actually was trying to fight back. In the 1st round, I gave it to Golovkin. 2nd round, I actually gave it to Steve Rolls. He was shooting the right. He landed some good body shots. It wasn't like Golovkin got blown out, but he was rocking Golovkin's head back, which is, indicative of what I've told you. Golovkin doesn't really have head movement and a good defense. 3rd round was pretty close. Steve Rolls did some pretty good stuff, but I gave it to Golovkin. So it was like kind of 2-1-ish. And then in the 4th round, the fight was stopped. Steve Rolls got clipped. His legs, he was on unsteady legs. Golovkin, being an experienced Olympian, silver medalist, and a great finisher, he just started piling on. His presence was far too much, and he gets the 4th round KO victory. Rolls tried to get back to his feet, but he fell face down. So usually when guys fall like that, it's not a good sign, and it's usually not an indication. So, I don't really have anything negative to say to Steve Rolls. He went out there, tried. It was a hell of an opportunity, but, really predictable outcome that I thought. The zone commentary, per usual, was atrocious. They're saying, Brian Kennedy said after this, he sent a real big message to Canelo. No, he didn't, bro. This is just like when Canelo beat Fielding. That didn't send no shockwaves or major message to Golovkin. I know DAZN is behind the scenes trying to make Canelo versus Triple G, and now that he has a knockout, right? Now that he has a knockout, they're going to use that as a catalyst, because both guys won their last fight. I really don't even have interest in seeing the Canelo Triple G fight, especially after tonight. I don't think Steve Rolls won the majority of the rounds, but just the defensive lapses that I've seen. You have Canelo, who's moved up to 168. I just don't see, and he's hard to beat on the cards unless he knocks out Canelo, which, Canelo showed a good beard and has already had 24 rounds of him. I just don't really see what's the point of Canelo versus Triple G3. I think, Triple G would have to win it by knockout, and I don't really see that happening. So I think it's going to be more of the same. Golovkin also stands a chance to maybe get stopped for the first time because Canelo's improving. He fought Jacobs, won that fight, looked really sharp. If he gets his stamina in order, then that wouldn't be out of the question. Plus, he already fought at 168, so he's kind of regulating his body. Keep in mind, after the first fight with before that, he only had one fight at 164.5 versus Chavez, and Chavez laid an egg, so it wasn't really like he had a lot of experience. But now, time's more on Canelo's side than Golovkin. Golovkin's 37, Canelo's 28, so the age discrepancy, whatever Canelo's learned, Canelo has the better defense, and I was seeing Golovkin get hit by Steve Rolls, who never fought a 12-rounder before, and I knew experience would play a huge factor in it. This is what I told you. Don't get gassed up off of Andy Ruiz versus Joshua and think this is the same thing, because Andy Ruiz and J-Rock, those guys were criminally underrated and given no chance because they had lost to Joseph Parker or they lost to Charlo and stuff like that. This wasn't that. This guy had never fought. Steve Rolls had never fought in a 10. He fought in one 10-rounder and never fought in a 12-rounder, versus he's fighting a silver medalist who's been at the height, fought Canelo twice, Jacobs, Kell Brook overseas, way more experience, heavy hands, both hands. So it was really the Golovkin show. Really, it was the first camp, so I'm not going to judge Jonathan Banks' influence too much because I've seen some of the same problems that Golovkin had. I didn't see this brand new, rhythmic, slick head movement, Philly shell Golovkin. But again, it takes time, so I'm not going to really go too too deep and compare like his work with Abel Sanchez and Jonathan Banks, because it's really one camp, you know. But shout out to Golovkin. I'd rather see the Andre fight, you know, see if Andre could take Golovkin's power if he gets past Zaleski, and he's just more. We know he has stamina, so that, I mean, he's gonna pick off shots. He's a southpaw. I just like that matchup better than the, you know, another 12 rounds of possibly Canelo fighting Golovkin or whatever. You know, we've already seen it, 24 rounds. Give it a rest. But that's my thoughts. Props to Golovkin and Jonathan Banks. Let me know what you guys thought of this particular fight. Triple G versus Rose. We work. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.